Okay, so once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the course Productivity Measurement and Quality Management. So our first topic for today is the evolution or historical evolution of production and operation management. Now, production operations management is the process of combining and transforming diverse resources employed in the organization's productions, operation subsystems into value-added products or services in a regulated way in accordance with the organization's rules. So as a result, it is the part of an organization that is responsible for converting a variety of inputs into the necessary products or services with the required quality level. So it means to say that production management refers to a set of interconnected management tasks that are involved in the creation of certain products. When the same notion is applied to the management of services, the resulting set of management tasks is known as operation management. Now, operation and production management have been recognized as a significant aspect in the country's economic progress for over 2 centuries. The traditional understanding of factory management dates back to Adam Smith's recognition of the economic benefits of labor specialization in the 17th century. He suggested that jobs be broken down into subtasks and what workers be assigned to specialized duties in which they may become highly skilled and efficient. F.W. Taylor, in the early 20th century, put Smith's theory into practice and developed scientific management. Many procedures were created between then and 1930 that favored the orthodox viewpoint. In this table, table 1.1, historical summary of operation management, it gives a quick overview of the contributions to industrial management. So this is 1976, right? But from the 1930s to the 1950s, the term production management became accepted. Managers developed approaches that focus on economic efficiency in production as F.W. Taylor's books became more generally known. Workers were scrutinized in great detail in order to minimize inefficient attempts and increase efficiency. Simultaneously, psychologists, socialists, and other social scientists began to investigate individuals in their behavior in the workplace. And newer, more complex analytical methodologies were also given by economists, mathematicians, and computer socialists. With the arrival of the 1970s, this one, 1970s now, two major shifts in our perspectives appear. The most visible of them a shift in the economy, service, and manufacturing sectors, which was reflected in the new moniker operations management. As the service sector grew in importance, the shift from the production to operations highlighted the expansion of our area to include service firms. And the second and more appropriate development was the beginning of a focus on a synthesis in management processes rather than merely analysis. Now, what will be the concept of production? The production function is the part of an organization responsible for converting a variety of inputs into required outputs. When I say output, that is products or services, either services. Now, of course, as I mentioned, it is converting a variety of inputs into required outputs of the specified qualified or quality level. The step-by-step conversion of one form of material into another formed through a chemical or mechanical processes to create or enhance the utility of the product to the user. according to the definition of the production, as what we mentioned earlier. And as a result, production is value-adding process, and there will be value addition at each level of the processing. Production, according to Edward Boffa, is a process by which commodities and services are created. Manufacturing custom-made products such as boilers with a certain capacity, constructing flats, some structural fabrication works for selected clients, and so on, are example of production, as are manufacturing standardized products such as cars, buses, motorcycles, radios, and televisions. Okay, so as what we have here, this will be the schematic production system from the input, transformation process to output, and the continuous process, of course, the inventory, quality, and considering the costs. Now, production system. So there are some classification of a production system. So for production system, the part of an organization's production system that creates product is known as the production system. It is the activity of combining and transforming resources moving inside a defined system in a regulated manner to generate value in accordance with management policies. So there are some characteristics of the production system. Number one, because production is planned activity, each production system must have a goal. Take note of it. The system must convert different inputs into useful outputs. It does not function in a vacuum from the rest of the organization systems. And there is activity feedback which is necessary for controlling and improving system performance. Now, we need to discuss it one by one. Based on what we have here, we have the continuous, mass, batch, and job shop production. So we start from the job shop production. The job shop production is defined as the production of a single or a small number of products developed and manufactured to the specification of clients within a predetermined time and cost. This is distinguished by its modest volume and wide range of products. So a job shop is a collection of general purpose machines organized into departments. Each work has its own set of technological requirements requiring processing on machines in a specific order. So what will be the characteristic of the job shop production? When there is a high diversity of products and low volume, the job shop production system is used. Because general purpose machines and facilities are used, highly skilled operators who can approach its work as a challenge due of its individuality, a large supply of materials, tools, and spare components, and for sequencing the requirements of each product, capacity for its work center, and order priorities, detailed planning is required. What will be the advantages of the job shop or the JSP? Some benefits of workshop production: it has a wide range of items can be produced using general purpose machines and facilities. Operators will grow more proficient and competent since its workplace or since its work provides opportunities for them to learn, and operators' full potential can be realized. And of course, there is room for unique ideas and inventive solutions. So how about the limitation of GSP? The drawbacks of workshop production is expenses are higher owing to frequent setup modifications. Okay. Higher inventory level at all levels, resulting in higher inventory cost. Production planning is time consuming. A large amount of area is required. How about the batch production? The American Production and Inventory Control Society, or the APEX, no, defines batch production as a type of manufacturing in which the job moves through the functional department in lots or batches, no, with each lot perhaps having a distinct routing or routing. No, it is defined by the production of a small quantity of products at regular intervals, which are then stocked and sold. Okay, now. The following condition apply for the batch manufacturing system. No, number one, when production runs are shorter. No, so we use batch production. When both the plant and the machinery are adaptable. When a plant and machinery setup is employed to produce a batch of items and change of setup is necessary to process the next batch. When compared to job order production, manufacturing lead time and cost are lower. So what will be the advantages? The benefits of batch production, more efficient use of plant and machinery. No? It encourages the development of functional specialization. When compared to work order production, the cost per unit is cheaper. No? Lower capital expenditures on equipment and machinery. The ability, no, to handle and process a large number of products, and operators are satisfied with their jobs. But a batch production limitations, because the uneven and light year plus, material handling is complicated. No? Production planning and control are difficult to manage. Compared to continuous manufacturing, work in process inventory is larger. Okay? And increased setup costs as a result of frequent changes in setup. For mass production, mass production refers to the continuous manufacture of discrete pieces of assemblies. Now, the high volume of production justifies this production strategy. A line or product arrangement is used to organize the machines because standardization of products and processes exist and all outputs follow the same path. No? So when the following conditions apply, mass production is used. So this will be the characteristic of the mass production. Products and process sequence standardization. The machines that are dedicated to a certain task and have higher production capabilities and output rates. No? A large of numbers or number of items are available. Production cycle time is reduced in mass production, and it reduces the amount of inventory in the process. Line of productions that are well balanced, no? Materials, components, and parts flow in a continuous and error-free manner. Error-free manner. It's simple to plan and control production. It's just because mass production. And material processing can be automated totally. No? Advantages, faster manufacturing rate with shorter cycle times. Line balancing, no, results in higher capacity utilization. Operators with fewer skills are required, and process inventory is low, and the cost of production per unit is minimal. So what will be the limitations of the mass production or MP? A single machine failure will bring an entire production line to a halt. That is will be the limitations. So once a single machine failed, so it will bring an entire production line to a halt. Modification in product design necessitate considerable changes in line layout. Then significant investment in manufacturing facilities because of course it's mass production, we are required to have a lot of machines, no? And the slowest process determines the cycle time. Next will be the continuous production or the CP. From the beginning operations to the finished product, production facilities are organized according to the sequence of operations. Material handling services such as material handling devices such as conveyors, transfer devices, and other devices are used to make the objects move through the sequence of processes. So the characteristics of the CP, or the continuous production, fixed plant, and equipment with no room for error. The material handling process is completely automated. The process is carried out in a predetermined order. Component materials are difficult to distinguish from the end result, and making plans and schedules is a common occurrence. So the advantages for continuous productions: product and process sequence standardization with faster manufacturing, of course, rate with shorter cycle times. Line balancing is also a result in higher capacity utilization. Even material handling does not require any human intervention because it is totally automated. People with low talents can work on the assembly line. Then because of the great volume of production, the unit cost is cheaper. So the limitations: there is no flexibility to adapt and process a large number of products. The cost of installing flow lines is extremely high. There is a lack of production differentiations. Now, how about the production management? Okay, so production management is the planning, organizing, directing, and managing of the production functions actions. It mixes and transforms diverse resources employed in the organization production subsystem into value-added product in a controlled manner in accordance with the organization's policies. Production management deals with decision-making connected to production processes so that the resulting goods or services are produced according to specification, in the number and by the schedule needed, and at a minimum cost. We are always considering this one in a production management. I'll repeat. Production management deals with decision-making connected to production processes so that the resulting goods or services are produced according to specification, in the number and by the schedule needed, and at the minimum cost. Okay? Now, what will be the objective of production management? Again, the goal of production management is to create goods and services of the appropriate quality and quantity at the appropriate time and at appropriate manufacturing cost. Now, when we say right quality or excellent quality, the product's quality is determined by the needs of the customers. The best quality isn't always the best quality. It is decided by the product cost and technical attribute as they relate to the specific needs. Again, it is decided by the product's cost and technical attributes as they relate to the specific needs. And that is right quality. For the right quantity or the appropriate quantity, the manufacturing company should generate the proper number of products. Because if they are produced in excess of demands, capital will be trapped in the form of inventory. And if they are created insufficiently, there will be a product scarcity. That's why it is important for us to understand the right quantity. Okay? Right time or the perfect moment. One of the most essential criteria used to assess the effectiveness of a production department is the delivery timeliness. Take note of it, especially for those who are working in the government. Sorry to say, may konting hugot lang. Again, one of the most essential criteria used to assess the effectiveness of a production department is the delivery timeliness. As a result, the production department must make the best use of the input resources in order to meet its goal. Now, right manufacturing costs or manufacturing costs that are appropriate. Manufacturing costs are determined before the product is built. Take note of it. That's why we have what we call, anong tawag natin doon? I forgot the exact term. No, again, as a result, every effort should be made to create the items at the predetermined cost in order to minimize the difference between the real and the standard cost or the predetermined costs. Okay. Now, how about the operating system? The operating system translates inputs into outputs that are needed by the client. It transforms physical resources into outputs with the goal of satisfying customer needs, like providing some utility to the consumers. The product is physical good in certain organizations, like hotel, no? While it is a service in others, for example, in hospital. An operational system or functions of an organization is the part of an organization that creates the organization's actual commodities and services. No? Actually, Adam and Evert define it. No? An operating system is a configuration of resources united, no, for the supply of goods or services, according to Ray Wild. Bus and taxi services, tailors, hospital, and builders are the example of an operating systems. So, what will be the concept of operations? An operations is characterized by the organization's missions, the technology it employs, and the human and managerial procedures it entails. Manufacturing and service operations are two types of operations that can be found in a company. No, a conversion process, no, that involves production produces a tangible output. So a product, whereas a conversion process that includes service produces an intangible output, a deed, a performance, and an effort. So what will be the distinction between manufacturing operations and service operations? So there are some qualities that we can use to differentiate manufacturing and service operations. Number one, of course, the tangible or intangible nature of output, the consumption of the output, the nature of the activity or the job, the degree of customer engagement, customer involvement in the conversion, and the performance evaluation. Now, manufacturing is defined by tangible outputs or products. No? Outputs that customer consume over time, jobs that required less labor and more equipment, little customer interaction, no customer participation in the conversion process or in production, and a sophisticated methods for measuring production activities and resource consumption as products are manufactured. On the other hand, no, intangible outputs or intangible output production activities and resource consumptions as product, that the outputs that customers consume immediately, jobs that require more labor and less equipment, direct consumer contact, frequent customer participation in the conversion process, and basic methods for measuring conversion activities and resource consumptions are all characteristic of service. Now, some services are equipment-based, such as railroad and telephone services, while others are people-based, such as tax consulting and hairstyling, for example. No? Now, as what we have here, no, we have a general model for managing operation, that is figure 1.3. As shown in this figure, managing operations can be included under a general management functions. No, models affect human behavior, as you can see. No, thus operations managers are concerned with planning, organizing, and controlling such actions. Now, when it comes to planning, Excuse. Activities that establishes a course of action in guide future decision making is planning. Okay, or it might say that planning is an activity that establishes a course of action in guides future decision making. The operations manager establishes the goals for the organization's operations subsystem as well as the policies and procedures for accomplishing those goals. And these steps entails defining the functions and focus of operations within the broader strategy of the company. And of course, it also entails product development, facility design, and conversion process implementation. How about the organizing? This one. Activities that establish a task and authority structure. So within the operation subsystem, operation managers construct a rule, structure, and information flow. They identify the activities needed to attain the objectives and delegate power and responsibility for doing them. Then controlling. This one. Activities that ensure the actual performance is in line with expectations. No? The operations manager must exert control by assessing actual outputs and comparing them to plan operations management to guarantee that the plans for the operation subsystems are carried out. And the main functions here are cost control, quality control, and scheduling control. That's what we have here. Now, based on the given figure, we have here the behavior and models in conversion process. Okay. In behavior, operation managers are worried with the impact of their planning, organizing, and controlling activities on a human behavior. Actually, they also want to know how subordinates' behavior can influence management planning, organizing, and controlling. And their research focuses on how people make decisions. When it comes to models, the operation managers have numerous challenges and must make numerous decisions as they plan, organize, and control the conversion process. They can make their problem easier by using model like aggregate planning model for examining how best to use existing capacity in short-term break-even analysis to determine break-even volume. Linear programming and computer simulations for capacity utilization decision tree analysis for long-term capacity problem of facility expansion, and computer simulation for capacity utilization, decision tree analysis for long-term capacity problem of facility expansion. Of course, a simple median approach for selecting the optimum facility locations. Now, so again, customer service and resource utilizations are two categories of operation management goal. The first goal operating system is to provide customer service that meets their needs. As a result, customer service is primary goal of operation management. The operating system must deliver something that meets the customer's requirements in terms of cost and timeliness. So as a result, the primary goal can be met by offering the right thing at the right price at the right time. Excuse. This table, table 1.2, describe these characteristics of customer service, specification, costs, what else? Timing, of course, four functions. So what will be the four functions? Manufacture, transport, supply, and service. Now, they are the primary sources of customer satisfactions and as such must be the primary focus of operations manager customer service goals. In general, a business will strive to meet specific standards on a constant basis, no? And the operations manager will play a key role in achieving these goals. And as the result, these goals will affect the operations manager's decision in order to attain the desired level of customer service. Now, how about the resource utilization? Another significant goal of operating system is to effectively use resources to satisfy customer needs, like customer service must be offered in conjunction with the attainment of effective operations through resource efficiency. An operating system, commercial failure is caused by inefficient resource allocation or poor customer service. Again, no? An operating system commercial failure is caused by inefficient resource allocation or poor customer service. Operation management is primarily concerned with resource utilizations that is getting the most out of resources or minimizing their loss, underutilization, or waste. The extent to which the resources potential has been used can be measured in terms of the proportion of available time used or occupied space utilization, activity levels, and so on. Each metric reveals how well such resources, potential, or capacity are being utilized. And this is referred to as the resource usage goal. The operation management is also concerned with providing excellent customer service, no? In maximizing resource use. An improvement in one will almost always result in a decline in the other because both cannot always be maximized. A sufficient performance on both must be obtained. All operation management actions must be conducted with these two goals in mind. And operation managers will confront numerous challenges as a result of this conflict. No? As the result, operation managers must try to strike a compromise between these fundamental goals. The two objectives of operation management are summarized in this table. As you can see here, market concerns, competitors, the strength and the limitations of the organizations, and other factors will influence the type of balance maintained between and within of the organizations. And the other factors will influence the type of balance maintained between and within these core objectives. As a result, when these goals are created, the operation managers should contribute. Now, how about managing global operations? Actually, everybody are very much aware and familiar with the term globalization. So, when we say globalization, it refers to a company's global deployment of facilities and operations. Globalization can be characterized as a process in which geographical distance becomes less important in the formation and maintenance of cross-border economic, political, and socio-cultural relationship. It can alternatively be characterized as a worldwide push toward a globalized economic system dominated by supranational corporate trade and financial entities that are not subject to democratic or national government oversight. So, the movement toward globalization has been fueled by four important trends. No? Number one, improved transportation and communication technology. Number two, open financial systems. Number three, increased demand for imports. And number four, reduced import restrictions and other trade barriers are among them. When a company establishes operation in another country, it has additional challenges, right? because quality and timeliness are being imposed by global markets. Managers should think internationally first and then act locally, rather than thinking locally first and then thinking worldwide. They must also have a thorough awareness of their rivals. No? Other key problems of managing multinational businesses include learning new languages and traditions, having a different management style, unfamiliar laws, no? and regulations, and dealing with varied expenses. So the main challenges would be addressed while managing global operations. How? To learn and apply the following principle as well as those relevant global operations, supply chain, logistics, and so on. So from various viewpoints, link global historical events to major drivers in global business. Develop criteria for conceptualizing and assessing various worldwide operations. To link global operation success and failures to their political, social, economic, and technological context. To foresee global operation trends and to create a knowledge of the world vision regardless of their nation of origin, residency, or studies in a respectful manner of individuals of various races, studies, preferences, religion, political, affiliation, place of origin, and other factors. Okay? Now, some of production and operation management, well, scope. Production and operation management is concerned with converting inputs into output using physical resources in order to offer the required utilities to customers while also satisfying the other organizational objectives of effectiveness, efficiency, and adaptability. So as you can see here, no, satisfying the organizational objectives of effectiveness, efficiency, and adaptability. It distinguishes itself from other departments such as people, marketing, finance, and so on by focusing on physical resource conversion. The actions described under production and operations management function are as follows. Of course, we have the local location of the facilities, important. Plant layouts and material handling, product design, process design, production and planning control, quality control, material management, and maintenance management. Now, I just want to give you a little bit background of this scope of production and operation management. The location of operation facilities is a long-term capacity decisions that requires a long-term commitment to the especially static characteristics that affect a firm, because it is crucial for an organization's strategic decision making. No, it addresses issues as where should our major operations be based, because a considerable investment is made in establishing plant and machinery. Choosing a location is a critical decision. No, an incorrect plant site may result in the total loss of all plant and machinery equipment investment. As a result, the site of a factory should be determined by the company's expansion plan and policy, product diversification plans, changing raw material sources, and a variety of other considerations. And the goal of a location study is to identify the best site that will provide the most benefit to the company. Now, plant layout and material handling. The physical organization of the facilities is referred to as a plant layout. In the conversion process, it is the configuration of departments, work centers, and equipment. No? The ultimate goal of the plant architecture is to create a physical configuration that meets the desired outputs, quantity, and quality in the most cost-effective way possible. A plant layout is a plan of optimal arrangement of facilities comprising employees, no, operational equipment, storage space, material handling equipments, and all other supporting services, as well as the design of the best building to accommodate all these facilities according to Moore, no? Now, the moving of materials from the storeroom to the machine and from one machine to the next during the manufacturing process is referred to us as a material handling. It's also known as the craft of and science of moving, packaging, and storing products of all kinds. Based on research, actually 50 to 75% of the cost of production, it is a specialized activity for a contemporary manufacturing services. The cost of material handling devices can be decreased by properly sectioning, operating, and maintaining them. Material handling equipment boosts output, improve quality, speeds up delivery, and lowers manufacturing costs. So, as a result, material handling is a key concern in the design of both new and existing operations. How about the product design? The turning of ideas into reality is the subject of product design. Now, as a survival and growth strategy, any corporate organization must design, develop, and introduce new products. The most difficult problem that firms confront is developing new items and launching them into the market. Marketing, product development, and production are all involved in the process of identifying a need and turning it into a real product. The product development transform marketing clients' needs into technical specification, then design the product's numerous features to meet those criteria, because manufacturing is in charge of selecting the processes that can be used to make the product, and the product design and development connects marketing, customer wants and expectation, and the actions needed to make the product. The product design, or the process design rather. The macroscopic decision-making of an overall process route for turning raw materials into finished items is known as a process design. The considerations include process selection, technology selection, process flow analysis, and facility layout. As a result, the most crucial considerations in the process design are to examine the workflow for turning raw materials into completed products and to choose the appropriate workstation for each step in the process. Production and planning. Production planning and control can be defined as the process of planning production ahead of time. Of course, determining the exact plan. You need also determine the exact fat of each item, determining the start and the finish dates for each item, issuing production orders to shops, and monitoring product progress in accordance with orders. I don't know if you are familiar with the slogan, first plan your work, then work on your plan. It encapsulates the notion of production planning and management, because planning, routing, scheduling, dispatching, and follow-up are the main functions of production planning and control. Again, planning entails determining what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and who will do it ahead of time. We need to remember that planning is the process of bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to go. It allows things to happen that would not otherwise be feasible. Now, when we say routing, it can be defined as the process of selecting the path that each component of a product will take as it progresses from raw materials to final product. Routing identifies the most efficient path to take from one department to the next and from one machine to the other or to the next until raw material is finished. The operational program is determined by scheduling, because scheduling can be defined as that determination of the sequence of operations to be followed, as well as the establishment of time and date of each operations. So, how about the dispatching? Dispatching is responsible for initiating processes. It grants the essential authority to begin a certain task that has already been prepared under the headings of routing and scheduling. As the result, dispatching is defined the release of orders and instruction for the commencement of productions for any item in accordance with the route sheet and schedule charts. Then the purpose of follow-up is to report on the progress of work in each shop on a daily basis in accordance with predetermined pro forma, as well as to look into the causes of deviation from the anticipated performance. How about the quality control? A system for maintaining a desired level of quality in the product or service is known as quality control. It is the systematic monitoring of numerous aspects that influence the product's quality. Quality control focuses on the defect avoidance at the source and relies on a good feedback system and corrective action mechanism. The quality control can alternatively be defined as the industrial management strategy for producing uniformly acceptable quality products. It is the full set of actions that ensures that the business produces the high quality products at the lowest possible cost. So, what will be the main goal of the quality control? Number one, to increase the company's revenue by making the product more appealing to customers, such as by offering longer life, more usability, and maintainability, among other things. Number two, reduce the cost of a company by reducing defects-related losses. Number three, to achieve manufacturing interchangeability in large-scale production. Number four, to produce high-quality goods at a low cost. Number five, of course, to ensure customer satisfaction with products or services of a high-quality level and to increase consumer goodwill, confidence, and the manufacturer's reputations. Number six, to ensure quality control, do inspection as soon as possible. And number seven, during the manufacturing process, to check for a variation. How about the materials management? Material management is a managerial function that is primarily concerned with the procurement control and use of materials, as well as flow of goods and services associated with the manufacturing process in order to achieve predefined goals. So the primary goals of materials management is to save money on materials, to efficiently purchase, receive, transport, and storage materials while lowering cost. Cost saving can be achieved by simplicity, standardization, value analysis, import substitutions, and other methods. To find new sources of supply and establish friendly relationship with them in order to assure a steady supply at reasonable prices. Developing high inventory turnover ratios and reducing investment related to inventories for use in other profitable objectives. How about the maintenance management? Equipment and machinery are an integral element of the entire production efforts in modern industry. No? So, as a result, their idleness or downtime is quite costly. It is critical that the plant machinery be well maintained. So the primary goals of maintenance management are maintaining the plant in good functioning order at the lowest possible cost with the least amount of breakdown. To maintain the equipment and other facilities in such a way that they can be used to their full potentials without interruption, of course. To ensure that other areas of the factory have access to the machines, building and service they need to accomplish their functions at the best possible return of investment. Okay, so that was discussed already, the location, the policy, the quality control, and so on. So this will be actually the production operation management. Again, it includes location of facilities is important, plan layout and material handling, product design, process design, production planning and control, quality control, material management, and maintenance management. And that's it for my discussion. Now, this will be your case study. So for section B, Wegmans Food Markets, this will be the source, no? On production operation management by William J. Stevenson or Erwin Mark Grohill. Okay. Now this will be the content of your case study. So introduction, issues and concerns, alternative courses of action at least 3 to 5, recommendations at least 3 to 5 also, conclusion, and references. So the format is Arial, font size is 12, spacing 1.5, and in a short size, no, 8.5 by 11.